The NFL Week 10 recap and Monday Night Football Bombs edition of the Bottom Line Bombs on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up for promo code BOMBS. Get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing that college football and the NFL with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMN. And with that, we are back here on the Bottom Line Bombs. Time to start the show with a theme song that goes like this. Welcome to the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, CJ Sullivan, the bet detective, the laddie daddy, scumbag of Vance, deli roll the deli llama, because I give out the best numbers. I'm also the man in the box. Yes, I am just we haven't done this in a while, quote tweeting with the YouTube link because if you are listening and watching live on X, I recommend you come over to the YouTube. That way you can comment and join the chat, the chitter chatter, and get lit up. Because I know a lot of you are subscribed to the YouTube page, and I appreciate that. I need you to tell 50,000 more of your friends. But for now, you're here. On Monday, 11/11, November 11th, 11/11. There's a song that does that. 11/11, Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day here. On November 11th, we're doing an NFL recap show of the weekend games on November 10th. And I had the Circa Million contest. We did well there. Survivor, I got a story with that. We are still alive, even though if I did a little switcheroo, so we're still heavy sweating there. And we got Thursday Night Football today. We got bombs to give out. I'll detonate that in just a second. But first, I like to do an overall macro view here on Veterans Day. Shout out to all the veterans out there, including I got a veteran story. Later on, I'll tell the story. My Uncle Kevin, Vietnam veteran, the Giants man himself, as you know him on here on the Bottom Line Bombs.
Fuck them Giants, baby. Huh? You bet your ass.
Happy Veterans Day to old Kevin. I gave him a nice Veterans Day call yesterday. I'll tell you all about it when I recap that Giants game. And my Uncle Pat, his brother. R.I.P. to him, but he has some great. I'll tell a good Vietnam story with him during my Man in a Box segment at the end. But first, let's talk about the overall macro. Degenerates. I know you guys were worried about the books, the casinos, and the sports books, because the last couple weeks they didn't do so well because a lot of favorites won. And they would tell you what the books need. Oh, man, the books need this to come through. The books need, or they might not survive if these underdogs don't hit. They're not going to survive. They're going to have to shut down the door, lock up the doors. Casinos out of business. What happened? The players were just too good. They've had a lot of friendly results. So I'm here to report, degenerates, worry no more. The books did well yesterday. Whew, thank God.
700 billion and $1,300,000,000,000.
They made some money back. They made it right back. And the play,
Oh my God!
Incredible. The underdogs went 9-3 against the spread yesterday. And the players
Right in the butt.
took it right in the butt. Correct. So casinos will be open. So if you were planning a casino trip this week or during the holidays, they'll be open just for a few more bits. They'll barely stay alive. We'll see what happens next weekend. Who knows? Maybe you'll bankrupt them with some heavy favorite plays, I should do all soundbite clips, but I was hoping that the opening, that I could just bankrupt circuit casino with all these incredible favorites.
It ain't gonna work, buddy.
Kim Mulkey told me that plan was not going to work. But, who knows? There's all kinds of new sports happening, so thank you for always tuning in. We got college basketball coming in. Maybe I can bankrupt the casinos with that. But right now, we're finishing out that NFL season. We're right in the thick of it. Thank you for tuning in to the Bottom Line Bombs. I hope you head to Spotify and give me a 5-star rating, because only you can prevent sports corporate gambling from taking over. Give me a 5. I guess apparently that helps the algorithm. So we'll do that, and I'll read those reviews. Anyway, let's get into the show today as the chat room is beginning to light up. We got Virgil Bugard Jr., who says, drop it like it's hot. Let's get this money. What's up, CJ? What's up, Virgil? Good to have you here. Let's drop it. Let's talk Monday Night Football tonight. A game I am going to here in Los Angeles, California. LA Rams versus Miami Dolphins. It's a sexy, sexy game. Line is 2.5. Rams are favored. Total is 48.5. And I will be going in attendance. Your man in the box will have feet on the ground, literally the underground at SoFi Stadium. SoFi Stadium, one of the greatest technological advancements as a football stadium. It doesn't really have character, but there's great TVs, great things to look at. They have hidden food. It's very LA. It's like underground, so you don't get too hot. It couldn't be more LA. It's impossible to park there or get there. I mean, they have lots, but they charge like, I think last year I went, they charged $250 to park in the tailgating lot, which is the tailgating lot. It's not like you get anything for it. You're just allowed to put up a table with food or shit. General parking is like $120. So I can't wait. But it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a fun game. Rams, Dolphins. Let's get into it a little bit. I believe both offenses should do well. When it comes down to since Tua is back, Dolphins have been putting up, I think it's 28 points a game since then. It's only a couple games. They haven't won yet. They blew the one versus Arizona. They did lose to Buffalo, but they gave them a nice game. And now we're just back to forgetting that Tua might die at any time. It's incredible. What I do worry about Tua tonight, because it's a Monday night game and everyone's going to be watching. And we all know when he gets those horrible concussions, when he looks like he had a seizure and his hands are all cripped up and it doesn't look good. We literally watch him die on the field. It always happens on a primetime game where everyone's watching. It never happens at a noon game at Jacksonville where no one sees it. It's always like this. Monday night, LA. He's going to scramble, lead with his head down. I think if he leads with his head down for a run, everyone will just get out of the way, kind of like a Make-A-Wish, because no one wants to be the guy that actually finishes off and kills Tua. Because if he takes another shot in the head, he's going to die. It's basically like Evel Knievel at this point. Half of us are tuning in to see what happens with Tua. And it's amazing that he's even allowed to play. There's no other job where an employer, maybe Amazon, is just like, yep, that's what our employees signed up to. They know the risk. They might die out there. What? Aren't you responsible for this? Nah, we had him sign that off, I guess. I know. Yeah, Tua loves the game, all right. Tua loves the game, and good for him. And I mean, and who are we to say you shouldn't play? But I don't know. If I was the Dolphins, I would be like, listen, I don't know how insurance even covers this. But like I said, if I was Tua, I would literally lead with my head down, go ahead. Who's going to be the psycho that literally ends my life and tackles me? Everyone's blaming Damar Hamlin at Buffalo game. Damar Hamlin's like, look, I wanted no parts of that. He ran into me. Anyway. So Tyreek Hill is questionable. He's going to be a game time decision. He's got to play. Come on. We're playing in LA. Tyreek, we'll let you drive as fast as you want. If you can get there, it's just the traffic. But this is where Fast and the Furious occurred. We'll let you take the Paul Walker road to Tyreek, whatever you want. There's a couple props I like tonight. I do think the Rams will be able to do whatever they want. Miami's defense is bad. I think Miami should do okay too, but I think the Rams defense is a little bit better. So it's a slight edge I have to the Rams. I don't like either side. You know, it's weird. The state of Florida went like 0-13 this weekend or something. Like college and pro. All the pro teams lost. All the college teams lost. Miami's their only hope of getting a win this weekend. And they usually don't do well as underdogs. McVay, I think he's a better coach. McDaniels, the hipster who looks like Logic, the rapper. Turns out he's not a good coach. We were fooled because he wore like, clam digger floods and hipster clothing and shit. We had that big recovery energy. Channing Brown, welcome to the chat room. He'll get a bomb. Virgil thinks the Dolphins need to get a backup before they can save his life. So they can save his life. It's true. However, that's today's NFL. You spend all your money on your quarterback and there's nothing left for a backup. There's nothing left for anything. These guys got 40, 50, 60 million dollars. It's crazy. I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I'm saying other players deserve it too, but that balances out the entire cap where like you have to pay this quarterback. The quarterbacks obviously do deserve it because there's only like 8 or 12 of these guys on the planet that could do it. As soon as they're out, the team's worthless. Like Miami without Tua is worthless. They were one of the worst teams I've ever seen. But with them, like, they can make the playoffs. Why not? Anyway, let's get to the props that I like. So I do like the over 48.5. It is weird. The number's coming down. It's ticking down, even though everyone's betting the over. They call that reverse line movement. I say reverse schmurse. Fuck the sharps. That's what I say. Where's the sharp? That sharp sound effect. People love, the sharps are on the under. Oh, it's so sharp. Watch that cheddar cheese. It's very sharp. Fuck the sharps and the reverse line movement. We're going over on this one, baby. The sharps loved the Jets yesterday. How'd that work out? I don't want to hear what the sharps like. I'm sharp cheddar over here. And I like over 48.5. I'm not going to play the side. I'll root for the Rams. This is my yellow Rams hat, even though it's PLL lacrosse. It's the only thing I could get for Rams colors. I have a blue jacket, too. I'll look the part. But yeah, I'll be at SoFi today, rooting for the over. Nothing like rooting for the over. Nothing like rooting for the over in public, too. Because they're like, who are you rooting for? I'm rooting for success. I want touchdowns. I want everyone to do well. Like I'm a parent of the NFL. I just want everyone to do good. And I want Matthew Stafford to throw over 1.5 touchdown passes. We're going to bomb that. He's done that like 6 of the last 8 games. He's thrown multiple touchdown passes. They will be able to run the ball. They're going to be able to do whatever they want. But I believe Stafford, they'll have Cooper and Puka together. But an underrated receiver for the Rams is Demarcus Robinson. He seems to be the guy they throw to in the end zone a lot. His anytime touchdown is plus 260, Demarcus Robinson. And he's the clear number 3. Tutu Atwell's the speed guy, but Demarcus Robinson number 3. And Stafford trusts him around the end zone mainly because the defense just brackets Puka and Kupp. So we're going to go Stafford over 1.5 passing touchdowns. We're going to go over 48.5 for the game. And let's give out Demarcus Robinson anytime touchdown plus 260. And if you want to feel frisky, first touchdown is 14-1. Bomb that. Virgil says, and they want more, which is crazy. The quarterbacks. And yeah, I know. And I don't blame the quarterbacks for getting all their money. I blame the union because they have a terrible union ran by old football players or all fucking meatheads who literally get taken advantage of by these owners anymore. They need to raise the minimum wage. They haven't raised the minimum wage in the NFL like in a decade. It's still like 200,000 or something stupid like that. They need to raise that to nearly $1 million or whatever it is. And that way that could take down a little bit from the quarterbacks and the money can be there and just go, can spread out throughout the league. Because what's the point of Kirk Cousins getting a $300 million contract every 4 years? and all these linebackers dying in the line of duty for $20 and plus tips. It's insane. So I leaned Miami, now I lean Rams. Either way, I don't want to figure out who's going to win this Rams-Miami game. I'd rather just play the over, 48.5, play the Stafford over, have some fun with the props, and DeMarcus Robinson anytime touchdown. That's my official bombs for the LA Rams. And I have to wrap this show up pretty quickly because traffic is probably bad right now. As I record, it's 1 o'clock Pacific. Game starts in 4 hours, so I'm already going to be late. That's how horrendous traffic is, especially going out there in Inglewood. In the parking situation. Oh my God. I'm already feeling like I already want to cancel. It's a free ticket. I can't do that. Anyway, let me tell you first about Underdog. Underdog Fantasy, the best way to play fantasy in sports. I'll give out an underdog play. Of course, I'm going to do an underdog play for tonight, right? How can I not? I'll be at the game. Let me dial one up. After I tell you what to do. Of course, Underdog Pick'em. It's got one of the biggest menus of sports. It's got all the sports. NFL, college football, college basketball, MMA, NBA, NASCAR, whatever you want. You can now use specials and boosts on all the flex entries. You sign up with promo code BOMBS. That's my promo code. To claim your special pick, first time deposit up to $1,000 bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code BOMBS. Let me take a look at it. Let's see what a good... Let me put in an underdog play for tonight. Just a special one for tonight. Let's see if I lost. I just checked my account. Not too good. All right, let's take let me take down the Underdog banner here for you. I could share the screen. Let me share the screen with you. How about that? We'll do something fun like that. I haven't done that in a while. That's what I should do. Hold on. Let's see. Share screen. Let me close my other windows, Degenerate, so you don't see what kind of dark web porn I've been looking at. Just kidding. All right. Here we are. Let's do bang, Underdog. Here we go. Who did I say? Like I said, Stafford higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. Already said we hit that. Now we got to hit one for the other side. Tyreek Hill, will he play or will he go? Who knows? How about Raheem Mostert? Higher than 29.5 rushing yards. That seems very doable. Let's do that. Raheem Mostert, 29.5. You're getting a value on him. He is our number. He's not the number one back in chain, of course, but Mostert used to play for the Niners. He's played for a lot of teams. Let's do that. That's 2.5 times play. There's no bonus. Should I toss Puka in there to get a touchdown? Anytime, or I could do DeMarcus. Nah, let's just do that. Let's just stick with Mostert and Stafford. Kyron Williams is almost a guaranteed touchdown, but I won't do it. 50 to play, 127. Let's do it. Bingo, bango. You're on the uses to me. Confirming it, so you know my money is going in there. My account's at 500. Yikes, it was at 1,000. I almost had a bad day yesterday. Do not look at results. Anyway, that's always the best. That was my old days. When I get drinking pretty hard on an NFL Sunday, doing God knows what and betting, and then you wake up the next day and you look at that phone, and that could be anything. Your accounts say you need to. It's either busted or hell, there could be money in there. Who knows if you won? That's always the fun of Hangover Mondays. Anyway, we're back here on the Bottom Line Bombs. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for everyone who's jumping in the room. Stephen A. who says, have a great night at the game. Thank you. Appreciate it, Stephen A. We're going to, I got the yellow PLL hat. Virgil says, let's do the PLL next year. But thank you for joining us. Let's get into the weekend that happened here. We did millions and a Survivor. You know my road to 10 million, Degenerates. I got bounced from that circle one, but now I'm still on the road to 500,000 Survivor because I have the Bet Online Survivor, which their first place is almost 600,000. And I'm glad to report, I know if you listened on Thursday's show, I gave out the Bears. I was going to do the Bears as my Survivor. And luckily, from showtime to kickoff time, sometimes things happen. Sometimes new information comes out and I do a switch. I try to post online if I switch my plays for transparency. But what's most important is that I survive. And I'm here to report luckily, not last second, but after a little more thinking, more information came out. There was bad weather in Chicago. There's bad vibes in Chicago. And then the Trevor Lawrence news came out of Jacksonville that he was not playing, and then a certain Mac Jones would be the quarterback. That caused the Minnesota line to shoot up to 7. Jacksonville got the cover. But that made me switch off because I was not confident with the Bears anyway. I switched off to Minnesota. I did an old-fashioned sweat, and we got there. Vikings got the win. We advanced to the Survivor. Road to 500,000 is now down to 350 contestants left out of 36,000 that started. Can you believe that? 36,000 started in this Survivor tournament on Bet Online. Now there's 350 left, and your man in the box is one of them. Let's get it. Took the Vikings. What an insane game that, I mean, this is why I know I'm getting deep into the Survivor. This is my sweat yesterday, and I'm becoming an old man. Normally in NFL Sunday, I'll either come here at the studio, I'll watch it with all 8 TVs, I'll be at a bar where there's all these TVs, or buddy's house, or I'll watch it by myself at home. I'll have I'll have one TV on the red zone, another TV on a main game, usually the Eagles or something like that, something I'm invested in or something I care about. Yesterday, I couldn't take red zone. I just couldn't do it. I don't know if it was too much anxiety for me, whatever. I had the Vikings on the one TV because that was my Survivor. I was going to do a full sweat with that. And I also had the Niners game on, Niners Tampa Bay game, because I had, I was pretty invested in San Fran minus 6.5. I'll just say that. And a 6 for the contest. My only contest loss. Contest went 4-1. Ship that. But I didn't do red zone. I was like, first of all, I can't take Scott Hansen. And then the clips highlights, sometimes it's just too fast with the highlights. But Pachaka said, the red zone channel, it's like all money shots in porn. No storyline. You don't know how you got there, but it's just all a montage of money shots. Well, Jesus, tell me how, did he come over to fix our cable at least or deliver a pizza? What's the scenario here? How did we get to the 5-yard line? And Scott Hansen doesn't care about that. He's like, oh, Jacksonville. And he announces it like he's there at the game announcing. I don't like Scott Hansen at all. They did my boy Siciliano wrong. Now he's doing radio for the Browns, for crying out loud. Anyway, they did him dirty. So I was like, you know what? I'll put 2 games on. Just watch 2 games with commercials. It's okay if I get a commercial. I'm not British. I'm not watching soccer here. I'm for commercials. That's what people are like, soccer, there's no commercials. That's great. No, that's not great. I need a break. Americans need a break. I want a break between plays. I want a commercial. I want to fucking calm down. I want to have a smoke. I want to goddamn do a line. I got to do something, but I need to relax. Too much anxiety. So I had both games on. If something big happens, they'll give me a game break, an old-fashioned game break. They're like, hey, let's go to Cynthia in the studio. What's the game break? What do you got over there? What happened in Chicago? What happened in Chicago? Nothing. Nothing happened in Chicago. Back to you. All right, thanks. Perfect. Thanks for the analysis. So that's what I just focused on the 2 games. The Vikings game was crazy. It drove you crazy if you were a Viking backer, which I was. I had them in the Survivor. They outgained Jacksonville by 3 times the amount. But Sam Darnold was up to his old tricks again. They would have like an 18-play drive. It took like 12 minutes. They'd get down to the 1, and Darnold would just throw an interception in the end zone for no reason. He did it like back-to-back drives. It was crazy. Luckily, Jacksonville's dumb. Mac Jones was bad, and they were just no threat. Like they just had to get it 2 points at a time, 1 point at a time. Oh, man. Anyway, JC from KC says, what's up, CJ? What's up, JC? Virgil says, funniest shit ever, money shot. It is. The red zone is all money shots. It's too much. I need to relax a little bit with it. And I can always watch the highlights. I don't need to be fucking fluctuated with everything and every disaster and everything that happens. And sometimes you're better off not knowing. I don't need to know they turned it over there or they missed 3 field goals. So we got to Minnesota. Bears wound up losing. They are a complete mess. Caleb does not look good. They're blaming it all on the coaching. I mean, yeah, it is coaching, but it's just like Caleb doesn't look good either. It's not just Caleb. I mean, it's not just the coaches. It's Caleb as well. But Jesus God, are they bad? They don't even look like they're playing football out there. Then you have the morning show, the game in Germany. Well, I'll wait on that. Because I got to talk about the million. Well, no, I'll talk about the Germany game. Why not? We'll get into it. Because that was the 2 big ones for Survivor. Because a lot of people had the Bears. A lot of people had the Giants. I don't even want to talk about the Chiefs. How they continue to luck box their wins. Blocked field goal. What? They do things that people don't even do since the 80s. Block field goals. I didn't even know that was a thing anymore. I didn't think you were allowed to do that. But they come through jumping over players. It's blocked. Let's go. Kansas City. Mahomes running around. They're fucking insane. Absolutely insane with that shit. Yeah, let's talk about the Giants. Well, I kind of want to wait for the break on that one because let me just recap. Let me recap the contest, then I'll get to the Giants. Virgil says, as a Redskins fan, the dead name Skins fan, you should say. Come on, you're dead naming them. I know everyone's like, I like how everyone's like, since Trump won the presidency, bring the Redskins back. He doesn't give a shit. We finally got a guy who likes hateful language. Trump, give us the Redskins back. That's kind of funny way to go. I did take the Steelers. I switched off from the Colts to the Steelers in the millions. That's why the millions we went 4-1. We lost the Giants or San Fran, however you want to put it. We won Steelers. We won Denver. We won Saints. We won Houston. All the dogs. I had to get off the Colts. I just didn't like the Colts, and I don't like Flacco as a starter anymore. I decided. I love Flacco off the bench. But Indianapolis fans booing Flacco. That's where I draw the line. My man Flacco, the free bird. Listen. Flacco's a good father. What he's doing, he's tanking on purpose now because he wants Anthony Richardson's ego to come up. Don't you blame Flacco. Flacco knows he can go out there and light it up again like he always does off the bench, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Let me go, baby. Free bird it. Town to town, rambling man. His work is done in Indianapolis. This isn't Flacco's fault. The Colts have to let Flacco go. Then he needs to go somewhere else. Some other town where a quarterback needs a kick in the ass, you know? Maybe Chicago. Bring Flacco to Chicago, put him in there, let him sling it around, and that'll give Caleb a little shot that he needs. Flacco's a rambling man. He does his job, works in Cleveland a couple weeks, gets out of there. He does his job with the Colts, gets out of there. This is on the Colts for keeping Flacco around. Get him to Chicago. Let him fix that situation. But let me tell you something, Indianapolis fans. You don't boo Joe Flacco. You don't boo a man like that. You'll cut off your allowance. But we did lose San Francisco. I'll say that. And as a man who had San Fran -6, watching Jake Moody, their kicker, miss 3 field goals, let's just say I wasn't too upset with Deebo Samuel throwing a punch at him. Now, on paper, on camera, that does not look good when you try to fight your own teammate for not doing his job, especially when it's a kicker because it looks like you're bullying. And that's what Deebo Samuel did. He went and bullied Jake Moody, a kicker they're invested in. This is why you never draft a kicker. Not because they're not good. They are good. Kickers are very good and are very responsible. But if you draft a kicker, now it makes it harder to cut a kicker. And the best thing about kickers in the NFL is you can cut them on a dime. They're the last ones where you have power over. Like a boss, like, I'll cut you tomorrow and mean it. Like if a coach says, I'll cut you tomorrow to any other player, he doesn't mean it because he can't do it. I'll cut you, Saquon Barkley, if you fumble the ball. Oh, will you? I don't think you will. I think an entire city will try to fucking lynch you if you try to cut me. You're not cutting me. But a kicker, you could do that to. But not if you draft him. Because you're like, God damn it, what do we draft, a third-round pick for him? So that's why you don't draft a kicker. So the Niners kicker, you missed 3 in a row. Debo goes after him, yells something at him, throws like a punch. And the holder, or the snapper, Tabor Pepper came up for him, or the holder, someone did. He looked Australian. Because you don't mess with that unit. That special teams 3-man unit. But, like I said, Debo Samuel was all of us Niner backers at that point. And I love watching the Niners melt down because I hate that team. But as someone who had the -6, all right, Debo, land a nice punch to the kick. And it worked. He kicked the game winner. He gained the game winner as they drifted off. So I agree, kind of disagree with that. All right, like that. All right, so let me get this read, and then I'll tell you about. Then we will talk. Let me tell you Bet US, and then we'll talk some Giants. Now I got to get into the morning brunch game, as Steve Elridge put it. But first, let me tell you about Bet US. Where's Bet US and old Michael Vick? We're brought to you by Bet US, the best in the business. It's been around for more than 30 years. Easily deposit up to cryptocurrency, get lightning fast payouts. US players are welcome at Bet US. A bet I like tonight is over 48.5 in the Dolphins-Rams game. Go to sportsgamingpodcast.com/BetUS. That's sportsgamingpodcast.com/BetUS. Promo code SGPN so they know we sent you. BetUS is America's favorite sports book. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. As you know, the rhythm's gonna bet you. Rhythm's gonna bet you. Rhythm's gonna bet you with props. SGPN's proud partner, Rhythm, #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds. Get predictions for betting on money line spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model. Copy another model. Copy the Bet Detectives model. Or just take one of theirs. Now you can track props in the Rhythm app. NFL picks, NFL props, college football, college basketball, NBA. Rhythm has it all. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And we're back on the Bottom Line Bombs. I'm your host, Sullivan, the Bet Detective, the Deli Llama, or Deli Roll, if you will, because I give out the best numbers. The laddie daddy, the man in the box. Let me look up a rhythm play. Let's see who Rhythm likes tonight. I already told you I'm on Stafford over 1.5 passing touchdowns and DeMarcus Robinson anytime touchdown plus 260. They like Puka Nacua under 67.5 yards. They predict Puka to have 43 yards. So I wouldn't mind that because I got some Cooper Cups and shares I need to get involved in. So, well, we'll see that. As long as Puka catches a couple touchdowns. All right. I know. Talking about kickers, Virgil says Washington signed a kicker this week, and he was solid in Seifert's absence. And Seifert's a guy that signed off the street too. I always say this. You could just the way they talk about kickers in the NFL. Quarterbacks, they get off the couch. Like Joe Flacco, when Cleveland signed Joe Flacco last year, he just came. He was on the couch last week, on the couch enjoying football. When they sign kickers, it's always they got him off the street, like they were under a bridge begging for change. There's no respect for kickers because we consider it effeminate. Meanwhile, they're 38% of the scoring in the sport. The Giants get Graham Gano off the street. He was fucking sucking dick for food stamps. What? Why are you saying that, Greg Olson? Because we're in Germany. And that's what they say in Germany. There's a lot of sex clubs in Germany. I don't know if you know that. Greg Olson, stop talking about that. Stevie Elridge says he's becoming a fan of the Getting Brunch football on the East Coast. Yeah, that's not bad. If you're on the East Coast, it's not too bad, the European game, because it happens at, 10 o'clock out there? So that's not bad. Getting dressed for church, whatever the heck it is. West Coast, you got to get up early. It comes on at 7 a.m., 6 a.m., which I don't mind. I was going to let my Giants Carolina couldn't be a worse game, but I had the Giants -6. And I was like, Carolina's one of the worst teams of all time. We all know that. Bryce Young is a gift. Anytime you can play against Bryce Young, you do it. I'm like, the Giants are bad, but they're not Carolina bad. So I got up around 7:30, 8 o'clock. I turned it on, and they're already down 10-0.
How about them Giants, baby? Huh? You bet your ass.
That's Uncle Kevo. Feach Lamagna, welcome to the chat. He says the Lions kicker was a brick salesman. Shout out to Jake Bates. UFL kicker, my man. If you've listened to the UFL show, the XFL New League UFL, which I did all year with J Mark and Colt Picks Dundee, we were all about Jake Bates. Great kicker. Kicks some walk-off 60-yarders. He never kicked like in his life. I guess he was a soccer player, but like, how is this possible? How is this guy drilling 65-yarders and never kicked in his life? Anyway, he's the Lions kicker now. He won them the game. A game the Texans should not have lost, but we'll get into that in a second. Let's talk about those Giants. My God. So my Uncle Kevin on Veterans Day, Vietnam vet, shout out to Kevin. I need to get him on. I'm always trying to get him on the show. I wanted to record. I gave him a phone call yesterday. I wanted to rub in the fact that the Giants lost to Carolina. We have a long history of that. Also, wish him a happy Veterans Day. We have a long history of rubbing in. Whenever Philadelphia teams would lose, he would call the fucking give us the business. And this is back in the day, back when, landlines, answering machines, no caller ID. There was no dial *67 to block the call, The phone would ring, and you knew the timing. You knew who exactly what it was. That's our bastard Uncle Kevin. To rub in that the Eagles just lost. Calling on the dot, especially when they're playing the Giants. He's a Giants guy. We're your Eagles guys. I mean, he would call one year the Flyers were in the Stanley Cup, back when they had the Legion of Boom, Eric Lindros, John LeClaire, Michael Renberg. And they went to the Stanley Cup Finals. They got swept by Detroit. Detroit beat the living breaks off them. And, he's not a Red Wing fan, but he's a fan of anyone that's playing Philadelphia. So game one, they beat us like fucking 50-0 or something, the Red Wings. They were way better than us. But they did have Brendan Shanahan, who used to be a Hartford Whaler, and he's a Hartford Whaler guy. Shout out to the Hartford Whale Tail, who left them. My Uncle Kevin would bring me to games there sometimes in the mall. It was great. But anyway, Flyers were losing, and it would just be a phone call, and the phone would ring. It was like one of those horror movies. Like, and we were just silent, hiding in the corners of the room. And like, it was just him harassing us. And the answering machine would come on, and it would just be his voice in the answering machine echoing through our living room. Shanahan. Oh, what time did the Flyers start? Shanahan. Hat trick. I mean, it was brutal. So we'd go back and forth with that through the years. And I'm like, I haven't given him an old fat, because to be honest with you, it got tiresome with the Giants being as bad as they are. And Danny Dimes. I mean, they're pathetic. Did they have the #1 overall pick right now? That's insane. If they bring out Danny Dimes again, come on. What are we doing here? Enough's enough. Bring out DeVito, baby. Let's get Dago Dimes out there. At least we'll have some Paisan to talk about. Anyway, I gave him a call. I'm like, first of all, I forgot to call him about the Yankees and the Dodgers. I'm not even a Dodger fan, but I live in L.A., so he thinks I am. Like I said, I only root for the Dodgers if they're playing the Yankees or North Korea. But I'm like, yeah, all right. I'll give him the call. Hey, is Danny Dimes there? This is Freddie Freeman. A shout out to Uncle Kevin. He doesn't know how to get on for a voice call. There's no way I can get him on a voice call. I'm going to literally have to record him. But he still has a landline, the old grandma's landline from South Windsor. So I call there, and it's ringing, and then he takes it. It's ringing and ringing, and it goes to nothing. And then he does the old-fashioned, takes the phone off the hook. So you get the busy signal. Remember that noise? Took it off the hook because he's ignoring me. He's afraid of my call, and he should be because I was giving him the business. They lost to Carolina. How did you lose to Carolina? I don't care if it was in Germany. You look at the stats, and they still Giants even dominated the stats. That's how bad the Giants were. So I gave him a Danny Dimes call, a Freddie Freeman call. Fuck you, Shanahan call. I think it's the ball. Their coach. He needs to get off the Ozempic. He needs to go back to Fat DeBall. That's where the magic was, in the girth. He's like the white Luther Vandross. When you lose weight, you lose your power. You don't see Andy Reid doing this Ozempic bullshit. He knows we want him fat and eating cheeseburgers, and that's how you win Super Bowls. You beat Shumley. We don't want assholes running the steps like Robert Saleh doing all that bullshit. We want fun, fat coaches. Unless you're Mike McCarthy. We don't like that. But you're the Cowboys. We'll get to that in a second. Micah Parsons. Psh, what a great teammate he is, Micah Parsons, by the way. But yeah, classic Uncle Kev move. Phone off the hook. Finally, he was able to pick it up hours later after he got down to it. And so I harassed him a little bit. He takes it, gives some back. He didn't take the Saquon news well when he came over to Philly. But now my new thing is I like telling him, oh, well, silver lining, Kev. The Giants have the number 1 pick right now. If the season ended today, they have the number 1 pick, which I'm not even sure if it's true. But it's definitely up there. So now I like to tell him, because I'm into business, I have an insider tip that the Giants are going to fire the ball. Of course, you get rid of Danny Dimes, and they're going to hire Deion Sanders and his son to be the quarterback. Package deal. And let me tell you something, C-Generates. If you want some good comedy, you tell your old Vietnam vet uncle that their new coach is going to be Deion Sanders. You get the reaction out of that. That's a not safe for work reaction I got out of that one. So I got him worked up on that. I'm like, nah, that's what I heard. Prime time and his son are a package deal. The Maras love him. There's no way the Giants will do that. Absolutely none. The Giants, have the Giants ever had a black quarterback ever as a starting quarterback? I know they've had like Tyrod Taylor, and Geno Smith hilariously broke Eli Manning's consecutive start streak, but other than that, I don't think they've ever had a black quarterback. They're kind of old school racist. Now Dallas, as Sean Green's been pointing out, they should hire Deion and his son. That's the show they should get on. But that's going to happen anyway. So Giants, DeBall, get off the Ozempic. Stop being the white Luther Vandross. Get your girth back. Get some magic back. Put in Tommy DeVito. Let's get Tommy Cutlets out there. There go Dimes. And as I say, I can say the word Dago, C-Generates, because I hate Italians. So I'm allowed to say it. And my mom was Italian. Just kidding. Just kidding out there. R.I.P. to all of those. Everyone out there that's dead. Pretty much everyone I mentioned so far is dead. My Uncle Pat, my parents, except for Uncle Kevin. He's still out there, and thank God. So I have someone to harass every week when the Giants are bad. I might crank up this Giants loss, but it's not. We both agreed. He answered my phone call right before the Eagles-Cowboys game because we both agreed the only time he can root for the Eagles is if they're playing the Cowboys. And what a glorious game that was. Let's get into that. Eagles 34, Dallas 6. Me and my Uncle Kev were on the same side on that one, rooting for Philly. How amazing was it? Listen, that game never got boring to me too. Usually like when you beat up on a weak opponent, like, this is getting sad. Not when it's Dallas. And that's what I love about the late game window. Because the TV studios get selfish. They only had 3 games in the late game window. It was Philly, Dallas, Arizona Jets, and Chargers, Tennessee, all blowouts. But if you're going to have blowouts, at least book teams that we love watching the shit getting kicked out of. And the Jets and Cowboys are 1 and 1A for teams I could watch get annihilated all day and love it. My only complaint yesterday about the Eagles-Cowboys game is that they did not have a split screen of Jerry Jones in his booth the entire time. and a rotation, a montage of crying Cowboy fans. That should be on a loop. There should be a 24-hour channel that shows crying Cowboy fans. Jerry Jones's quotes about the sun, and how amazing is that? That the sun played a factor for Jerry Jones's dumb stadium, his Jerry World. It's an amazing stadium, but he loves taking credit for that too. Listen, I was the architect for this. I know where the sun is. Why are you taking credit for these failures? Sean Green points that out. Even if things goes bad, he likes taking credit for that's because of me. Yeah, why did his son get in Des Bryant's eyes? Because of me. You have me to thank for that. Yeah, we're not thanking you for that. We're blaming you. Did you really not hire an architect to build your stadium? You eyeballed it? I mean, Jesus. What did he say? Let me pull up Jones's quote, because I love how the quotes became about the sun. He has an entire window where the sun blinds everyone. When asked about it, Jerry Jones goes, by the way, we know where the sun is going to be when we decide to flip the coin or not. Okay. We do know where the damn sun is going to be in our own stadium. All right. Well, how about you just get rid of the sun by putting up curtains or tint it, something. They asked him, why not put up curtains? Which would be hilarious. Can you imagine drapes in there? Jerry goes, well, let's tear the damn stadium down and build another one. Are you kidding me? Everyone's got the same thing. Every team come in here has the same issues. Yeah, okay, but these are issues you can fix. You're not going to be more powerful than the sun. The sun is a burning star that gives all of us life and energy. This reminds me of Tom Coughlin, speaking of Marines, when he coached Jacksonville, and he didn't allow any of his coaching staff to wear sunglasses because they said it was a sign of weakness. Yeah, it's also a sign of skin cancer, Tom. That's the sun. We are weak compared to the sun. If my opponent is the greatest star of fire in the universe, then yeah, you know what I mean? That's they're stronger than me. Jerry Jones went on to say, I'm saying the world knows where the sun is. You get to know that almost a year in advance. What are you talking about, the Farmer's Almanac now? Someone asked me about the sun. What about the sun? Where's the moon? The moon? All right, Jerry, let's give you basic fourth grade science. The moon is on the other side of the planet. We rotate, and at nighttime is where we get to see the moon. The moon does not blind your football players. The sun does. He is hilarious. Yelling about the sun and being responsible for it. That's what's so funny about it. He is, I designed it. I'm the one who put a huge sun window that points right in an end zone for half the game. What? Why would you do that? So God can shine his ray of light on his Cowboys. Well, I think God bet on the Eagles. God must have been laying the 7.5 because God wanted you to lose, and you did. Again, at home. Got destroyed. But luckily, the Cowboys are taking it very well. Micah Parsons, after the game, called out Coach Mike McCarthy. He's like, I feel bad for our players like Zach Martin. That's who I feel kind of bad for, not Mike McCarthy. He doesn't do it. He can go anywhere, which no, he can't, first of all. He's not getting another head coaching job after this. And second of all, Zach Martin worked harder than anything Mike McCarthy did. What? Even if that's true, which I don't even think it is. All right, yeah, maybe physically he's lifting weights because McCarthy's a coach. He's not a player. But I'm sure McCarthy studies a lot. Remember McCarthy in his off year said he lived in his garage and watched tape and avoided his family? He works very hard. He avoids his family just like the rest of us. You imagine saying this about your coach? And McCarthy can't do anything because of Jerry Jones. McCarthy can't be like, oh, you're benched. Oh, am I? Let's see what me and my podcast listeners have to say about that. That's the problem. That's the problem with players and having podcasts. There's a lot of any celebrities having podcasts, which I am against. Everyone's like, I'm all for it, the new media. I'm all for the fun stories. But fuck them breaking their news and their podcasts. How many platforms do you need? Like Scott Van Pelt podcast. You have an hourly TV show at ESPN. What else do you fucking need? Say what you want there. I can't because I'm handcuffed by Disney. Well, great. Now we get to hear your take on Halloween candy. I can't wait. You're not going to say anything controversial on there either. It's not the platform. It's all about advertising for their own other platform. Like you had Bosa get fined for wearing his MAGA hat, which I can't believe he did get fined for that. That's kind of crazy. I'm not a MAGA guy, but that seems stupid that he would get fined for that, wearing a hat. But then he goes to press conference. This isn't the platform for it. Not the platform. You're the one who came up and fucking photobombed with your MAGA hat. What is the platform? Oh, your podcast is the platform? Okay. Like when Jason Kelsey did that fucking fake apology that he didn't need to do for slamming that troll's cell phone. This isn't the platform to get into the details. Yes, it is. This is the platform. You're on TV right now apologizing. This is the platform. Now, why don't you tune into my podcast? Oh, I see. So it was fake. I'm going to put out that Man in the Box video. That Jason Kelsey whole story with the troll was a fake. It was a Jussie Smollett situation for content for his podcast. I am positive of that. Anyway. Feach wants to know, would you rather have McCarthy or Eberflus? They both belong in the UFL, or at least this Big Sky Conference. Eberflus is bad. McCarthy is bad. They're both coaches that should not have been rehired this year. They both should have been let go at the end of last year. McCarthy, because you just can't, like, I don't care if you went 11-5, made the playoffs. You can't face the team after that 50-point loss, or the city. And Eberflus, Jesus Christ, I can't even get into that. Anyway, let's break it down. What else was there? That's pretty much it for the Sun. I just love how they're fighting the Sun now. Denver, we got the win with the points. Should have got the money line on that one. So, the Chiefs, like we said, the shittier the Chiefs play, the more invincible they become. They're trying things. They are on a path this year. Like, listen, we're Kansas City. We've pretty much done everything. We've won back-to-back Super Bowls. We scored like 40, 50 points a game. We haven't gone undefeated yet. Let's try doing that. But here's the kicker. Let's also try playing terrible. Have we ever done that? Have we ever gone undefeated and also play like one of the worst teams in football week in, week out? Because I think that'll be fun. And it is. It's fun watching Kansas City invent new horrible ways to win games. So good for them. Saints, that was an easy interim coach situation. That guy's an idiot. And if the Saints are dumb, they're going to hire him as a head coach. He was like, yeah, I took a big dump in the bathroom. And I was like, uh-oh, it's going to be a shitty game. No pun intended. No pun intended. What was intended? You literally just talked about a bowel movement and said that's how you're going to play. No, pun was intended. You're not smart enough to do that. And then Houston, we had them plus the points. Thank God. How did they blow that game? Jesus. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions and won. Well, one way I know how they won that game. That was a blatant interference call they did not call in Houston. But what are you going to do? At that point, we're like, fuck it. We just want Campbell to win, have his celebration speech. Anyway, let's get to the box. Yes, we are in the box. I want to thank everyone, first of all, for watching and listening live on the chat room. You guys give the bloodline to my show, the pump line. Random J94 comes in here late, says Mahomes overthrowing Kelsey in the end zone, lost him his parlay. Does he respond by fading him the rest of the season? I think that's the only way. The only way to get back even at Mahomes, Random J, is to bet against him the rest of the year. That'll teach him. A bet he won't know anything about. I know you're joking. I'm joking as well. How about LeBron James? I don't know if I believe him. Said he got another rebound to help some guy's parlay out. Because the guy was yelling about his parlay. What I say is don't encourage those people, LeBron. Now, LeBron's a known liar, so he might be making the story up. But two, if that is true, and I don't mind you doing it for the degens, for the people, but don't encourage fans to be yelling at you what you need for their bets and then doing. I don't agree with that. Because they're the worst people. But I do feel bad for you for that. Kamara dropping that one pass, that killed me from my every prop. I gave out every prop I went 4-1 on the prop show. Ladders started hitting. I gave out ladders on VSiN. 2 ladders hit. My Jawan Jennings ladder hit. My Jalen Warren ladder hit. I gave a white angle release, double white ladder of Ricky Pearsall and Christian McCaffrey receiving yards. They hit. Incredible. But anyway, what was I doing? Thanking the Feach Lamagna, Virgil Bagar. It was hot today in the chat room. I love it. Stevie Elridge, everyone that came out here, Stephen A., JC from KC, everyone else in the chat, I appreciate it. Everyone who listens later on, I appreciate you too. Make sure you subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs on the YouTube page. And of course, if you're on Spotify or even iTunes, give me a 5-star review. Make sure you subscribe. Tell 5,000 of your friends. I was saying 50,000. Tell 5,000 of your friends. That helps the algorithm. Tell your phone that I like it. Hit the thumbs up button here on the YouTube right now. Hit thumbs up. Tell your phone that you like it. I don't care if you do like it. Tell other phones that they like it. Subscribe to me on X at CJ Sullivan _ or on Instagram at CJ Sullivan was taken with underscores in between each words. You can follow my comedy on there too. I did a show in Santa Monica on Saturday. Wasn't great. It was a sold-out show. It was good. By the time I got up there, the crowd was a little tired, and there was a row of Trumpers in the back, and Trumpers now feel like they can yell anything because our guy won. Great. It has nothing to do with the fucking president. And I wasn't even talking politics. But I'm blessed to be up there. That's all I care about. Virgil, were you not listening at the beginning of the show? He wants a 2-player anytime touchdown for tonight or a 2-touchdown pick. Yeah, I'm on DeMarcus Robinson. Anytime touchdown is plus 260. His 2 touchdowns, I imagine. Oh, was I sharing that entire time? You guys saw me, right? All right, good. What is his 2 touchdowns? I bet that's 24-1, right? If it's 250 for 1. I got his first touchdown of 14-1. Just lock in DeMarcus Robinson. He's got juicy numbers, and he gets just as much touchdowns as he's 14-1 for 2 touchdowns. As Puka or Cooper. Anyway, we are in the box, right? Did I lock it up? Oh, I didn't get into the box. Let me do that again. Like I said, thank you, everyone. Follow me all night. This is going to do it for today's show. But first, a real quick thing. It is Veterans Day today. So shout out to all the veterans. Shout out to all the veterans. I'm like fucking McAfee. I love what it does. Shout out to the veterans, fighting for our freedom. Shout out to them. Shout out. Shout out to the fucking veterans. If you look at my Instagram, I posted a great picture of my Uncle Pat and his unit in Vietnam. Him and his buddy Peabody. Peabody and my Uncle Pat are looking at the camera. The rest of the unit are looking off to the side because there's a bomb happening. But my Uncle Pat always knew when a picture was being taken. Peabody, he looked like a good dude himself. Vietnam always had the best nicknames. I did my Uncle Pat's eulogy. That was quite an intimidating eulogy because he was a cop in Hartford, the chief of police 30 years, and a Vietnam vet. So it was in the morning. I'm already sweating in church. Wearing a suit. I never look good in a suit anyway. I always look like John Kruk at a wedding or something. Just fucking the suits and it's not fitting right. So I'm hungover 10 in the morning, Irish wake style. And I have to do bits. I'm doing bits in front of this priest. I roasted him. He didn't like it. But the rest of the audience is pews full of cops and this pew full of motorcycle gang of Vietnam vets. And that was a tough crowd. But I did well. You said, you did jokes about it. Drinking, Pat, let's cut this off, go to the bar. Did fine. But one Uncle Pat story that I love telling, I've told it here before. I told it on my album, actually, but I'll retell it just because it's always great to keep his spirit alive and all the veterans out there. If you heard my Uncle Kevin, that's his brother, of course. They sound very alike. They were called the Bully Boys by my Aunt Kitty in Ireland. The Bully Boys? All right, Ma. That's how they would talk. All right, Ma. Ma, what are you doing, Ma? Psh, there ain't any dimes, Ma. So one time I told Uncle Pat years ago that I was going to go into comedy. I was moving to Chicago. I was going to start doing comedy and all that stuff as a career or whatever. And my Uncle Pat's like, comedy, huh, pal? All right, pal. Okay. And he goes, did I ever tell you the time where I wrecked the Bob Hope show in Vietnam? Did I ever tell you that? I was like, no, Uncle Pat, you did not. You've never told me that time about you wrecked the Bob Hope show in Vietnam, because I'm pretty sure I would have remembered that. That seems like a very eventful story of you destroying a Bob Hope show in Vietnam. I would love to hear it. He goes, all right, well, yeah. One time, we're over there. We're stationed over there. It was my second tour. I think he did like 2 tours. He has like 5 Purple Hearts, something ridiculous. 4 Purple Hearts, 3 Purple Hearts he sent home. And after he got his 3rd Purple Heart, his truck went over a landmine. He got a 4th one, trying to get out of there. That's called dumb Irish luck. Anyway. So he's like, anyway, so our unit, we were suspended for some bullshit. Really? It was bullshit? Okay. So they were having a Bob Hope show for all the troops, and we weren't allowed to go because we were suspended. What were you suspended for? They put some bullshit, ticky-tack. Yeah, I'm sure whatever it was wasn't bullshit, Uncle Pat. What do you have to do to get suspended from a war? This isn't PEDs or reckless behavior. If the U.S. government's saying, yeah, you know what, why don't you sit this one out? We're losing our ass here in Vietnam, but what you did was so reprehensible, you're suspended. No Bob Hope show for you. Anyway, they were suspended for the Bob Hope show, but it was still going on down at the Stars and Stripes Stadium. 10,000 soldiers down there, ready for some playmates and a Bob Hope show. He goes, we were a few clicks down, about a half a mile away or whatever, and we're all drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon, getting tanked up. We each had a case. We're drinking it, and we're pissed off that we can't be at the Bob Hope show, pissed off that we're suspended. And the more we started drinking, the more we're like, you know what? Fuck this. We're going to the Bob Hope show. What are they going to do? We're Marines. You're right. Okay, what are you going to do? So what they did was they each had a case of Pabst over their right shoulder, their guns in their left shoulder, full straight to the sky, and they marched down to the Bob Hope show. And as they were marching and drinking and getting drunker, and it starts getting closer to the venue, the outdoor venue, they started disrobing and taking off their uniforms because they didn't want to be official Marines at that point, they said. You know, they didn't want to disgrace the uniform. And then they were sick of them for getting suspended. So they stripped down buck naked with their boots, shooting their guns into the air with a case of beer on their other arms. And they're going all the way to the stage, of course, causing a rustle. MOP comes over, military police, MOP, the rap band, military police comes over, MP, and they start coming over and trying to stop them. There's no stopping them. They're shooting their live ammunition in the air, drinking, throwing beers around to the people, and now they're naked. Now a melee starts. And there's like 20 people in this unit, 20 soldiers. Now it's a whole fucking fight, a whole barrage, 100, 200 people, and next thing you know, things are being broken, things are being shot. So much ruckus was caused where they canceled the show. The Bob Hope show was canceled for the next day. I had pushback. They all had to sleep because they caused such a fucking ruckus, tore up the goddamn place. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I never heard that before. And Pat then looks me in the eye and goes, yeah, so CJ, so be careful out there because there's a lot of hecklers. A lot of hecklers out there, so you got to be careful. What? Yeah, that's not what I got out of that story, but okay, I'll keep an eye out, Pat. I'll keep an eye out for fucking guys shooting guns in the air, stripped naked, fucking drinking beers in the middle of a war zone. Tell you what, he wasn't that wrong. Comedy's kind of been similar to that. But anyway, God bless you, R.I.P. Uncle Pat, Uncle Kev, all the veterans out there. Shout out to Annie Up, Boofer T. Justice. Welcome, M.O.P. Correct, Annie Up. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you, everyone. Of course, joined us. Subscribe, like, do the whole things. Happy Veterans Day. I'll play some Vietnam music at the end of it, you know?
How about them Giants, baby? Huh? You bet your ass. How about them Giants, baby? Huh? You bet your ass.
All right, let me turn that off there.
How about them Giants?
I can't do it anymore. Anyway, that's going to do it.